The more we know about our environment, the better we can be at influencing its conditions to favor us. The past archaeological discoveries have left us excited and hungry for more. This is the more reason why the mind-blowing recent archaeological finds have caught the attention of most people all around the world. What are these findings? What impact do they have on humanity? Stay tuned and ensure you watch till the end to find out. 11. The 3,000-year-old city buried under sand in Egypt. The 3,000-year-old city, also known as the Lost Golden City, was recently discovered by the Zahi Hawass Institute of Egyptology. This is a huge step in the archaeological world. According to old writings, the city became popular during the reign of Amenhotep III. A lot of archaeologists have been on the search for the city for more than 100 years. So you can imagine how most of them felt when their lifelong dreams were before their eyes. Upon excavation of the lost city, it was discovered that it has remained preserved under sand for 3,000 years. This is huge. Although there are still some parts to be unearthed, several rooms such as the bakery with pots and furnaces from that era have since been discovered. The city has been tagged by some notable professors as the second most important archaeological discovery in history after the tomb of Tutankhamun. 10. 20 Terracotta Warriors found close to the tomb of the first Chinese emperor's secret tomb. 20 new Terracotta Warriors were uncovered by archaeologists. These life-size figures were most likely built to protect the first emperor of China in the afterlife. What would the emperor be needing protection from? Presently, 2,000 of these lifelike soldiers have been discovered. The Terracotta Army is thought to consist of 8,000 sculpted warriors, located in 3 pits about a mile northeast of the mausoleum of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who unified China in 221 BC. These new terracotta were uncovered in the first pit, and the warriors were identified to be generals from their more elaborate headgear. The use of luxurious means of transportation didn't just start today. Even our predecessors knew how to travel in style. Our next archaeological finding proves this to be true. 9. Ancient Lamborghini ride in Pompeii. The discovery of the Lamborghini of chariots is an extraordinary find that surprised most archaeologists. The well-preserved chariot had iron wheels, bronze, tin decorations, and mineralized wood. The researchers at Pompeii uncovered the ceremonial chariot from a villa near the famous Italian archaeological site. The officials revealed that the chariot is adorned with metal medallions depicting satyrs, nymphs, and cupids, suggesting the possibility that it may have been used in marriage ceremonies. The ancient city of Pompeii suffered from volcanic ash in the past. The chariot was able to survive the eruption because it was stored inside a portico. Ever since the ancient city of Pompeii was discovered, it has been a gold mine. Another recent discovery was a fast food eatery. This thermopolium was an eye-opener as to the type of dishes that was common in ancient Roman cities. This kind of discovery serves as an eye-opener, helping us to understand our predecessors better. The researchers found remnants of duck, goat, pig, fish, and snails in earthen pots, sometimes combined in the same dish. The storekeeper brought the pots of hot food into circular holes in the counter. Crushed beans were found in a jar, likely used to modify the taste and color of wine. Now there is absolutely no need for you to wonder what the ancient men ate and drank. We hope you have been enjoying the video so far. If you haven't yet subscribed to Magma Storm, go ahead and do that now by hitting the subscribe button. 8. Roman shipwreck discovered near Sicily. Not too long ago, researchers found the ruins of a ship suspected to have been transporting wine and olive oil in the Mediterranean more than 2,000 years ago. Across the seabed, on the coast of northwest Sicily, ceramic pots that were similar to the ones used in ancient Rome were seen to be littered around the shipwreck. At 92 meters below the water surface, researchers used a robot controlled by a remote to survey the shipwreck. Other items were discovered among the ruins includes the Dressel 1 amphora, used in moving wine from one location to another. What does this tell us about the people of Rome? 7. Besides the Roman shipwreck, another major shipwreck was found in Antarctica, the famous Ernest Shackleton's Endurance shipwreck. While on a record-breaking journey across the Antarctic by foot, Sir Ernest Shackleton set out with 27 of his men in 1912 on the ship Endurance. The ship later sunk when it encountered ice sea in 1915, and this left Shackleton and his men with no other option than to escape with small boats. Although Shackleton and his men made it back to civilization alive, his shop was never found. Every student of history that came across Shackleton's account desired to see the ship. Who wouldn't want to see a piece of history anyway? However, this story changed in 2022 when the vessel was found at the bottom of the Weddell Sea. The most shocking part of this finding was that the ship still looked fresh, even after 107 years. 6. Archaeologists unearthed 10,000-year-old hunting pits. Pits that are as old as 10,000 years were unearthed at Stonehenge. These pits were used by prehistoric hunters during the period of the early Mesolithic era in northwest Europe. The largest of these pits measured a whopping 13 feet in width and 6.5 feet in depth. The discovery was made possible by the use of both the novel geophysics and traditional archaeology. After careful examination of the pits, the researchers noted that the hunter-gatherers had roamed the landscape during the early Mesolithic period when Britain was re-inhabited after the last ice age. How would you like to stumble on a pit that was dug 10,000 years ago? 5. Numerous mummies and a queen pyramid in Egypt. Whenever we hear of the discovery of a mummy, Egypt easily comes to mind. Well, this one wasn't any different. All the coffins had unique faces that separated them from men and women. The names of the deceased persons were also inscribed on each coffin. The mummies were well preserved and free from decay. Other artifacts that were uncovered by the researchers inside the coffins are games, small figurines known as shaptis, and statues of the god Ta-Sokar, who represents the cycle of birth, death, and resurrection. One of the queens was identified in a pyramid to be Neith. This was record-altering fact, and it helped to rewrite history. Brace yourself up, because this next finding will surely leave you amazed. 4. Gladiator Arena from Roman era unearthed in Turkey. Presently, in our world today, most people enjoy watching mixed martial arts and wild animal fights. Those in the Roman era were not left out either. The recent discovery by archaeologists in Turkey confirmed this, when they uncovered an arena that was large enough to accommodate over 20,000 people. I'm sure you never imagined that. The 1,800-year-old arena was found on the rolling hills of the ancient city of Mastora in Turkey's western Aden province. Its large central area, where the shows once held, has since been filled up with earth and vegetation over the centuries. After cutting down all the bushes and trees, an old arena dating back to AD 200 was unveiled. This meant that it was built during the Severan dynasty, which included 5 emperors who successfully ruled from AD 193 to 235. During this period, the city of Mastora had a thriving economy. You can bet that these emperors must have enjoyed the gladiator fights for them to have encouraged it. 3. The tomb of an Egyptian treasurer. The huge granite sarcophagus of King Ramses II's treasurer, Ta-Emwia, was discovered by archaeologists at Saqqara, an ancient necropolis roughly 20 miles south of Cairo. The tomb of the royal treasurer dates back to 3,000 years old. The discovery was made by a group of archaeologists from Cairo University. There were inscriptions on the surface of the coffin talking about the late treasurer. The inscriptions detailed his closeness to Ramses II and included emblems of deities such as the sky goddess Nut to protect the deceased. The burial chamber and sarcophagus provided a greater understanding of Egyptian rule after the death of King Tutankhamun. 2. An ancient temple dedicated to Zeus in Egypt. The worship of Zeus might have begun in Greece, but it eventually spread into other nations like Egypt. A recently discovered temple in Tel El-Fama, northwestern Sinai Peninsula, confirmed this. This temple featured a blend between Zeus and Cassius. While Zeus is referred to as the god of the sky, Cassius was a weather god related to Mount Cassius. The Zeus-Cassius temple was identified with the help of the remains of a pair of 6.5-foot-tall pink granite pillars that once served as the temple's entrance gate. The columns possibly collapsed due to an earthquake. In addition, archaeologists also uncovered a collection of granite blocks that served as a staircase for the worshippers going into the temple. When the temple was excavated, the inscriptions on the dig showed that it was renovated by Hadrian. This made even more sense because Hadrian was known for his love of Greek civilization. 168 newly identified geoglyphs added to Peru's Nazca lines. Geoglyphs were formed by removing black stones from the Earth's surface to bring out the white sand below it. Most of these geoglyphs were distributed along ancient trails. These geoglyphs were as old as 100 BCE and 300 BCE, and they depicted humans, camelids, birds, orcas, felines, and snakes. Most researchers agree that Nazca geoglyphs depicts deities and are a form of calendar with astrological alignments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more amazing discoveries, please like and subscribe to Magma Storm and ensure to check out the next video.